Grace and peace from God the Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Thanks, guys, for tuning back to the channel. Today, we're going to be testing out this Plaid brand. It's from Walmart. Deluxe craft tool. Came with this little instruction booklet, and it also came with its own case. As you can see, it's got the different tips there. It's even got an X-Acto blade. Oh, sorry. There you go. X-Acto blade and some solder wire. It uses lead-free. It recommends to use lead-free solder wire. Let's open this up. Here's the tool itself. Right now with the, I believe it's called the calligraphy tip. It's got all different kinds. And it's got a little stand right over here to keep it stood up. There you go. I believe it goes like that. Something like that. And it's got some temperature control. I believe it can engrave on some plastics, and then at the hottest, it'll engrave it. It'll not engrave, I'm sorry. It'll melt the solder. You know, regular old wall outlet plug-in. Here's a close-up of the different types of tips. I'll get them out so I can show you individually each one. Alright, so here we have the instructions opened up. You can guys pause to read if you need to. There's your general instructions on how to run it. Here we have the instructions on the temperature control. See, synthetic fabric, not plastic. Leather and wax. The orange can do wood, leather, cork, iron on embellishments, and photo transfer. The red is for wood, stencil cutting, natural fabrics, cork, and paper. The dark red also does wood, soldering, ceramics, foam core board, solid foam objects, and paper. Looks like you can use the red and the dark red on paper to cut things out or burn things in. Never done that before, so I'm not sure how that works. Here are the different tips that go on it. And pause to read if you need to. You can see there the different things it tells you. Some good tips on how to do certain things. It's pretty nice. And here we have the actual tips out of the box, showing you the different things that we have. I believe you can pop out the knife by popping out those two little brass rivets. They're like little pins that hold it in place. And I have all these tips here on a wood, I think it's called a slat. It comes in a pack of 6, also from Walmart for about $4. We're going to be testing out the different tips, the ones that can obviously put on patterns, just to show you guys what it looks like. Alrighty guys, so I have here, the heat is set to the red, not the dark red, but the red. And let me see if the instructions have any say as to when the tip gets to full heat. This is the universal tip according to the instructions. It's used to make all kinds of lines. You can make them thick or curved and very thin if you need to. I'm looking here and I don't... I hear some crackling coming from the tip of the thing, but I don't see much instruction as to how quickly it heats up. All it says, it depends on your power source. I'm hoping it does heat up pretty quick because I just now turned it on. But it also says to wait 25 minutes in between changing tips so it cools down completely. Because obviously you wouldn't want to burn yourself with one of these. Here, I'll give it a try. Let's see just up here. See if it does anything. Not yet, it seems. I'm scratching in something, but not yet drawing into pattern. Ooh, there is a smell coming off of it. I'm guessing there was like some sort of thin oil they put on this before they sent it out. Maybe it needs to heat up and burn off, or maybe that's just the metal, the smell of the metal heating up. I think it's heated up enough. So if we place it down lightly and move it nice and slow, we might be able to start seeing some sort of pattern. Oh, look at that. We are getting something. Just takes a little bit of time to heat up. There you go. Maybe I might need to turn up the temperature a little more to get it more reliable, but let's see. Seems to work, actually. See if we can recreate one of the patterns that it showed on there, like a squiggly. Oh, I'm going a little too quick, I'll admit. Maybe I should slow it down. So it'll definitely take some practice if you haven't done this before, because I haven't done it before. But it seems that if I maybe keep trying with it, I can get pretty good at it. Well, there's a dark line. Yeah, if you leave it pressed on there, it starts to darken up quite a bit. Yeah, let's draw a little smiley face on there. Oh, I'll do it over here. Oh yeah, you can definitely see the smoke starting to come up because it's actually burning the pattern. Well, look at that, a little smiley face. Maybe I could fill it in a little bit. Always okay to rotate your workpiece. It's not like it's stuck where you set it at first. There you go. Oh, went a little too hard on went a little too sideways. But look at that. It actually works pretty well. Yeah, once it heats up properly, it works like a pen. You just kind of have to move slowly, figure out what's the right speed. That's really neat. Let's do that. Oh, messed it up already. Let's see if I can remedy this. Oh yeah, using the wider tip really does help. I'm trying to draw a fish here, and it's not turning out too good. Oh. There we go, it's a little forgiving. I'm sorry, I'm out of frame. Here we go, you guys can see what I'm trying to do. It's a little forgiving, I guess. Yeah, it definitely is going to need a lot of practice to get good at it, but it's very cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty neat. Well, now that I've used it a little bit, the color of the tip, it's definitely darkened. Maybe once it cools down, you can wipe it off or find a way to clean it. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If you have any experience with wood burning, let me know in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Right here, turn the temperature all the way to off. We'll wait a little bit and I'll test out a different tip. Alright guys, so here I have the next tip. It's one of the hot stamp tips. And I've noticed something. As it gets warmer, the brass color starts to fade and becomes this darker color. So you can kind of visually see when it's hot. And I think that's pretty neat. Maybe it's just a property of the metal. But here, we'll start up here at the very top corner, see what it looks like. Press it down. Holding it in place. Maybe if I wiggle it a little bit to give it some more opportunity to be even. Look at that! Maybe I did it for a little too long, but it does look very neat. Here, I'll try next to it, but or just below it so it's not so long. Put it down. Very nice. Simple and... oh, look at that. It's pretty neat. You can put like a pattern like that, completely covering a piece of wood that you buy. Maybe like you buy one of those little, you know, when you go to the Walmart or any place and you see those little arts and crafts pieces of wood, you can just cover it in like a pattern like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just however you want, and it's yours. I think it's very neat. Obviously, the longer you hold it, the darker it becomes because it's transferring more heat. Also, a little bit more smoke, so be prepared for the little bit of smoke that does come out with each stamp. You definitely want to, like if you're going to do a lot of this, you probably want to wear some kind of mask, maybe do it in a more ventilated area. I'm doing it here in my living room, and it's not too bad. You know, the smoke isn't building up. I'm not doing a lot, but I'm wondering maybe if I was trying to do a complete pattern on one of these pieces, it might produce a lot of smoke, and you might want to open up a window or something. Well, I'm going to try the next few tips. Let's move on to the next one. Here we have the, I would say, kind of like a bullseye target stamp. So it's a dot in the center and two circles around it. Let's see how it stamps. I'll hold it for a little while, see if I can get a really deep one and then a lighter one. Press it, maybe wiggle it a little bit, make it more even. Ooh, I think it burnt it a little too much. Can't even see the lines clearly. Let's just do a quick, like a 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, a lot better. That looks pretty cool, I think. It's another cool pattern you can be putting around on stuff. It looks neat, I think. Yeah, for sure that with practice you can get really good at all this wood burning stuff. And this kit, if I remember correctly, it was about just under $20. So if you got $20 and a bunch of maybe like throwaway pieces of wood, this could definitely work. I mean, they do have cheaper ones. That I got this one because it came with so many tips, and it also came with a soldering tip. It was rated to be for soldering. They do make ones with less tips, but if you want to have more variety, you'll have to go to the store and buy more. But this one, with all the stuff it comes with, I think it's a pretty good starter. Here, I'll do something I'm probably not supposed to do with it, which is draw. Oh yeah, it didn't turn out too good either anyway. But it does look pretty neat. If you look here, I don't know if you guys can see that too clearly, but the circles aren't perfectly round. Just slight imperfections. I think one edge is a little thicker than the other. But overall, I think it looked pretty good. As I keep testing out these new tips, I notice the tip, you do almost immediately see it darken when it's hot and ready to be used. I'll try a couple more for you guys. Alright, so I got a little light on, so you guys can see a little more better. Here's the next stamp, the last stamp. I don't know if you guys can see too clearly, but it's like a hexagon in the middle with some things on the sides. Let's see what it looks like on wood. We'll do it over here, next to the bullseye looking one. Oh, it makes like a little, maybe like a star, maybe a flower pattern. I think it looks pretty. You know, you can also say it looks like a weird soccer ball. But I think it looks really cool. All these stamps are very neat. There's a lot you can do with these stamps, you know. You can cover something in them, put them in just a few choice spots. Maybe you could draw something with one of the drawing tips and then put this at the top of a line, make it look like a flower. Of course, you'd have to be patient since you have to wait for this to cool down a little bit before changing it over. You got to be safe. You can definitely feel some heat coming up from the handle. And, you know, it's got this little shield there. And then this is where you grip it. And holding it like this, holding it down, you definitely feel the heat coming up on it. So you definitely want to be careful. Keep your fingers away from the tip. You don't want to burn yourself. Definitely be careful. If you're not an adult, probably want to have some adult supervision and be super careful. Here, I'll now demonstrate some of the writing tips. Alright guys, here's where I've been keeping the tips after I take them off. After they cool down, they definitely go back to being a shinier color that they were. This guy's heated up. This is the flow tip. The instructions say it's the mini flow tip used for line work, points, and dots. So let's do a little bit of line work. See if I can draw like a tic-tac-toe. Oh, you know, maybe if I want a little smoother, it'd look a little better. But that's working really nice. Oh, that looks way better. Going with the grain definitely makes it look smoother. Oh yeah, the longer you hold it, obviously the darker it gets. The more times you go over a certain line, it'll get darker too. Let's see, I pick here. Somebody probably is gonna choose here. There's an X. So I'll go there. Somebody will choose this one. Or what? Somebody probably chose an X there. And you know what? Let's just skip to the end where I win. This is pretty neat. You know, points and dots like that. Ooh, it's getting pretty warm. I wonder. I don't have it turned up all the way, but I assume that it would draw like that almost immediately. These super dark lines. Yeah, let's draw a little guy. Triangle guy. And triangle girl. So you can tell she's a girl because she's wearing a dress. She's got long hair. He's bald. He's got wider shoulders, you know, like a football player or something. Maybe if I fill in the line a little better. Oh yeah. Now it's a little too dark. You get the point though. This is a pretty cool one. If you do it nice and smooth, you can definitely get some nice colors out of it. I think it's pretty neat. This one does seem to heat up the fastest, and I'm noticing right now that it is also turned like a dark reddish purple color. So maybe I need to turn it down. This is the smallest out of all of them. I assume that's why it's getting so dark. All right, well, there you go. You saw how that one worked. Let's move on to the next tip. And here we have the calligraphy tip. It's a lot similar to the first one, the universal tip. It's not slanted at the very tip. Instead, it's flat, it's not bladed, but it comes to a flat point. And the instructions say it's for like calligraphy style lettering, and you can also do some neat line work with it. Its own style. It still hasn't fully heated up. I just wanted to show that it goes from being that bright bronze color to like a dark orange or something pretty quickly. Here we have the calligraphy tip all heated up now. I'm not very good at any sort of calligraphy anyway, so I'm not sure this will look any good, but what we can tell so far about this is that it does work very well when you're good at it. You know? Once it's fully heated up, I did turn it up a little more just because I think it would work a little smoother if it was at its full temperature. You can see now that it's fully heated up. It's very dark. Now let's see if I can write my name with it. Maybe I'll just write it how I probably normally would and see how it looks. Oh, geez. It's a little funny, but that's all right. I'm sure if you guys practice, if you were to purchase the same one, with practice, you would look way better than the way I'm doing it. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? All right. The next tip we have here is the shader tip, or shading tip. It's got like a leaf look to it. It's curved as well. Let's see how it works. Let's try it down here now that it's heated up. Oh yeah, look at that. You can definitely if you were to do it kind of quickly, you can kind of make like a. Oh, I messed it up. But you could make like a leaf pattern. It's very neat how it shades, and you could definitely use it to fill in areas. Maybe just kind of pass it over things, and it kind of adds another layer of thing. Wonder if I can cover up this whole chessboard. Or chessboard. Tic-tac-toe. Oh my goodness. It looks pretty neat, I think. It definitely works for what it's supposed to. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a lot of smoke coming off of this. Whew. But it does its job. It's pretty cool. And just the tip of it works pretty good for maybe following lines. It's quite neat. Looks like there's a little piece of wood that's stuck to it, and it burnt to a little crisp. I don't think you guys can see that. Maybe you can. But yeah, let's move on to the next one, shall we? Alrighty guys, here we have the last tip. This one is called the tapered tip, and it seems it's for creating very detailed designs and cutting out stencils. I mean, I'm considering the tip gets pretty warm, you could set like a piece of paper probably and cut out a little drawing. We'll just use this top corner over here. Pass it over. Oh yeah, very neat. If it seems like I'm struggling to draw straight lines, maybe it's because in the instructions it says before you do start burning on a surface to sand it a little bit, make it real smooth. And maybe because this isn't quite the smoothest, it's catching on some of the fibers. This is definitely working pretty well. If I hold it this way, I might go a little better. Oh yeah, way better. So yeah, I mean, in the instructions, I believe it does say to move your workpiece around. Don't be afraid to move it around, because that's what's going to get you the best results, is moving it, being comfortable to move your work around. You can hear my cat in the background, I think. He's a very talkative boy. Well, there you go, guys. I tested all the wood burning tips. I got this turned off already. I tested all the wood burning tips, except for the one for the hot stamps for transferring like laser engraved stencils or something. I'm not quite sure how this one works, and I didn't want to mess with it. And then also I didn't tie out the soldering tip. I didn't feel like making a mess with solder, considering I don't have anything to solder. But I don't doubt its ability to melt anything with the soldering tip, considering how well it did with burning the wood. Overall, I think this is a pretty cool purchase. Pretty useful if you want to get into wood burning. Check it out. Walmart has it. I'm sure you could find similar things on other websites and stores. But this is just the one I bought. Wanted to show you guys. Alright guys, well that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for sticking to the end. And I really do appreciate you guys watching. Today's scripture reading comes from Psalm 19, verses 1 to 4. For the director of music, a psalm of David. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge. They have no speech. They use no words. No sound is heard from them. Yet their voice goes out into the earth, their words to the ends of the world.